We've got brand new, really exciting Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer updates to go over today. We also have some news about Sadie Sink and plot details around her specific character. And then we have a quote from Amy Pascal, who has produced all the Spider-Man movies, which I really like, talking about kind of the human and emotional component to Spider-Man, which leads me to believe that this next Spider-Man movie really is going to be a very emotional movie, which is saying something because the last one that we got was pretty dang emotional as well. Peter lost Aunt May and everybody forgot who he was, but somehow this one's going to carry the same emotional weight or maybe even more. What is going on, Cosmic Crew? Thanks for stopping by the channel today. I know everybody's been wondering what's going on with that Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. The last we heard, they created the official website for it. It is still there and it directs right to Sony. That's a good sign that it's coming, but now we have new reports coming from Trailer Track, a very reliable account who, as you might have guessed, tracks trailers. And they have a brand new report for us today. They state, when it comes to the release of Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer, what we're hearing is the following two scenarios that are being considered by the Sony marketing team. And I believe that it's probably this first one, but of course there is a chance that it could be the second. The first one, it will premiere exclusively in front of Project Hail Mary in theaters for the opening March 20th weekend, and then be released only the following start of the week. Will have already leaked at that point for certain. So basically, this is the exact same concept that Marvel Studios did for the Avengers Doomsday trailers and Avatar. They attached 4 different trailers, 4 different weeks to show before Avatar Fire and Ash so they could drive people to go see that movie. So they could drive ticket sales because they knew people were going to go watch the trailers. Some people didn't even watch the movies. I've seen a lot of comments. They watched the trailers, they paid for it, and never watched Avatar Fire and Ash. I get it. Trust me. I'm one of those people. But this makes sense because they're just going to do it for the same, except this is Sony doing it. It's obviously part Marvel, but Sony is doing the marketing. Project Hail Mary is coming from Sony, right? So totally makes sense. Also, Amy Pascal produced that movie as well. Makes even more sense. So that could be probably March 20th, a few days later. If you actually look at the calendar, March 20th is a Friday, so that means that the trailer could come out the 23rd, which would be the Monday. So it wouldn't be a whole week. It'd only be a few days later, the 23rd. That could be when we get that trailer. But there is a second choice in which Trailer Track actually says the more likely choice that they believe they're going with is this. Choice 2, Sony will wait until CinemaCon as they're the first big studio to debut on opening night of Monday, April 13th. There they will unleash the trailer both to the audience and online, plus more exclusive footage at the event itself. This gives them 3.5 months to push the marketing campaign before the July 31st release. Also remember that they use this same strategy for Spider-Man No Way Home. Sony has always kind of done their own little things, and they've already done that for Spider-Man Brand New Day as well. They revealed the name, they revealed the Spider-Man suit, kind of in official videos that are behind the scenes before for Spider-Man No Way Home. They did it with Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Jacob. They kind of just did a video of them walking in the halls where they revealed the name, right? Nothing super huge, although it was to us, and it definitely breaks the internet, but it wasn't anything big or flashy. Pretty simple. But this does make sense as well because CinemaCon is huge and they do have the debut of the opening night. So it would make sense that they would want to do something. Last year, they did have a message from Tom Holland, and director Dustin Daniel Cretton went on stage and talked about the film. They probably would have some exclusive footage to show CinemaCon, but then of course release the full trailer online for everybody to see. So don't worry about that. It should release online at the same time as well. And then hopefully we get rumblings and reports about what they showed that they aren't releasing to the public during that time as well. Regardless, whether they debut the trailer on this date or debut it before March 20th through the 23rd, they will show exclusive footage at CinemaCon. So we should get something there no matter what, which is great. I hope it's the first because that means we get it sooner. They both make sense. We'll have to wait and see. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, moving on to Sadie Sink's character. Guess what? Even more insiders are stating that she's Jean Grey now. Big surprise. At this point in time, I've said this before, I am convinced she is Jean Grey. But now we have a little bit more evidence, a little bit more dots are connecting here. First and foremost, Cryptic HD Quality, the insider, says that she's Jean Grey, just flat out. Post a picture of Jean Grey, post a picture of Sadie Sink, says she is Jean Grey. Now, another report from Charles Murphy, murphysmultiverse.com, reporting the same thing. Sadie Sink is reportedly the MCU's Jean Grey, and she's debuting in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Also quotes Cryptic in this article. But some things that he quoted I really, really like. He states, reports from the Glasgow set suggest a sequence where Sadie Sink's character is being hunted by the DODC. Insider Daniel Richmond has indicated that Sink's character utilizes telepathic mind control, a hallmark of Jean Grey's power set. Yeah. She uses mind control to manipulate guards and potentially even turn Bruce Banner into the Hulk. I would really love to see that. If it was actually Sadie Sink's character, Jean Grey, that is the reason that Banner hulks out again. I actually think I really like that and really want to see it. And then there are on-set descriptions that have consistently noted Sadie Sink wearing green and yellow, the signature colors of Jean Grey's Marvel Girl. By introducing Jean as a street-level mutant being persecuted by the government, Marvel Studios is effectively setting the stakes for the mutant saga before the X-Men even have a team. This grounds Jean in the 616 reality, making her a sympathetic figure Peter Parker feels compelled to protect. It also makes one ask what might have happened to Jean Grey from whatever universe the X-Men appearing in Avengers Doomsday are native to. It certainly does. You wonder if she's from that universe or is she just simply Jean Grey from the 616 universe? We'll have to wait for Spider-Man Brand New Day to come out to find out. But he finishes by stating, perhaps the most compelling piece of evidence for the Jean Grey reveal is Sink's reported future in the franchise. It has been widely reported that Sink will reprise her role in Avengers Secret Wars, which begins filming in London later this year. Also, on top of that, I will add, it's said that she is signed up for 3 movies. So, Spider-Man Brand New Day, Avengers Secret Wars, then another movie after that, which is most likely the X-Men movie. She would not be in Secret Wars if she was not an incredibly important character for the future of the MCU. So Jean Grey, I mean, everyone is basically saying and believing that it's Jean Grey now. So I don't know if there are still any naysayers out there. Is there anyone out there who still does not believe she's Jean Grey? If so, let me know in the comments. And if you do believe she is Jean Grey, let me know in the comments. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, like I mentioned, is producer Amy Pascal, who has been part of all of the Spider-Man movies, had an interesting quote in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. The question was, you are a consistent creative force behind all things Spider-Man. As a producer, what is your responsibility in keeping IP like that fresh and something the audience wants to engage with over time and time again? She replied, well, there are a lot of people who work on Spider-Man movies, as you know. I wouldn't call myself the only person, but what has been important to me from the time that we acquired the rights when I was at Sony and until today, when I'm lucky enough to be on the ground making these movies, is that it's a story about Peter Parker, and that it never is a story about anything else. It begins and ends with a human story, and everything else comes from there. Sometimes people think of comic book movies as a genre in and of themselves that have different rules. I don't think of them that way. I think of them as dramas and comedies and movies that have to touch your heart. A movie is just one character making a choice, and that has to be as true for Peter Parker as it is for Joe March from Little Woman, or Katherine Graham from The Post, or anyone else. I love this. I really do love this. She states that at the heart of it all, really any Spider-Man movie has to be Peter Parker, and we've actually heard that yes, the heart of Spider-Man Brand New Day is of Peter Parker, but Peter Parker is trying to push Peter Parker aside and just be Spider-Man, and that's a big problem. So they really are going to kind of dive into the whole, hey, it is about Peter Parker. You can't push him to the side. That's why he's going to have all these organic problems, right? Problems with his body where he's going to produce organic webs and his body is going to change because he's putting aside Peter Parker, but it has to be about Peter Parker. And it does make it seem like this is going to be pretty emotional, him making choices and him dealing with the choices that he made in Spider-Man No Way Home. That combined with, him kind of losing control over his body, going into a cocoon, getting organic weapon, everything changing, him watching MJ with a boyfriend. Yeah, it's going to get pretty emotional. But I like that that's going to be kind of the grounded part of it. Yes, there are going to be so many villains in this movie, and everybody's been saying they want a grounded Spider-Man. I mean, it sounds like it kind of is going to be as far as like the actual story for Peter Parker and Spider-Man is concerned. Yeah, there's a lot of villains. Yeah, there's the Hulk, the Punisher, and it does seem like Sadie Sink is Jean Grey. But at the heart of it all is Peter, and I really, really do love that because that is what it's supposed to be about. So really like this article, but let me know what you think about this and all of the recent Spider-Man news in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Spider-Man news. And you can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.